filed charges against him for battery. He said, and then McCall goes around and says, I'll battery you. Want to see how I battery you? And this is what I'm talking about. And they supposed to be a religious place? Gives out food? It's a very dangerous place. Don't go to Good Samaritan, because they have a nutcase called Randy in there. He laid his hands on me. Yeah, if I go to the police, they're not going to do nothing. State's attorney doesn't do nothing. They put them up to this. And then people come around and tell them that the state's attorney and the police, which I've heard them and seen, tell people to hit and beat up on me, and they're not going to file charges, and that's it. As you have seen, police officer actually come down there to the gas station in previous we called topic. We called videotaping on YouTube and under 9 and number 10. Do just that. These individuals are required to be arrested by law. Getting back to that top discussion, Mr. Vaughn has violated my rights. He threatened me before he became mayor that we called that he was going to kick me out of City Hall, violate my rights. And we called, and he has, threatened me. It made all kinds of accusations, said I stink and smell, ordered me out of the City Hall, violating my constitutional rights. He has no right to do that. And the thing is, I take a shower and bath before I go down there. I got a witness. He has used the police chief and the law enforcement officers to, physically, falsely, commit criminal acts against me. Take my, tripod, turn off my cell phone, the police chief, which is illegal to do. I could file a lawsuit against him. Other than that, the Constitution of the United States First Amendment says a person has the right to assemble at government open meetings, no matter if they're on the agenda to speak or not. And if they are or not, they have the right to stand or sit at a government meeting and watch and listen to the whole meeting. Mr. Bond, prior to that last year, did violate that right against me. Twice this year, had me removed illegally from when I was sitting before that council meeting, and we called one out of turn, violated, we called it gender space. He has used police to recklessly remove me. He also, has lied to a law enforcement officer, Mr. Bond, prior meeting, which I have also on tape, kind of video recording, not video, but audio recording, which was put on videotape after, while I was at City Hall prior to the media showing up. They called, Mr. Bond came out, threatened me. He said, I'll have you removed right now, before the meeting even started around 6:30. And said, oh, you smell, you stink. I told him, shout here now. And the police chief came out, and I want Mr. Bond arrested right now for violating the white cane law, because removing a person with a disability from a government building, which is a public meeting at City Hall. It is a Class A misdemeanor. Mr. Bond should have been arrested. This had me removed those 3 times. I had been charged with 3 Class A misdemeanors, and then even the last 2 when he denied my right to speak. So that's 5 Class A misdemeanors Mr. Bond has committed at the minimum. And that's not including the hate crime that he's committed against me in the city council. And the federal district court and the Supreme Court has said that government officials do not have the right to alter a person's taste or speech or what they speak. If they do, and they violate the rights to speak or remove them, they have violated the constitutional rights. And by law, a person has to give the government a few alternate channels, come back to stop their behavior before they can file an action against the government and its body. But the OPD, police chief, and all his officers have been violating criminal acts and committing crimes against me and Ella within the city of Olney since we lived here, and also her mom and the state's attorneys And as we were getting on film lately, you see them. They're actually saying it as their own words. The police chief Clark said people went into Casey's, made phone calls saying that I was videotaping them. Even though I could, I was videotaping out of the street, and that's what it shows. And that right there is enough evidence. They would have to plead guilty because there's no way they can beat that tape. But as we know, the state's attorney is corrupted, two-faced, and he refuses to file charges against people around him because he wants to be elected back on corruption, lies, and he's been falsely arresting people. So we called, it's time to remove David Hyde and send him to prison. And my topic, and the thing is, this topic is right. It says, what I had on there this time, it says Brian O'Neill, which was my topic on the agenda, is my name, Brian O'Neill. If you go down, it says, thanks, corrupt Mayor Vaughn, entire Olney City Council. All right. Now, I ask all you citizens out there, if a government officials, elected officials, we call all your law enforcement officers, violate your rights, they called violate the law, and they deny you the right to assemble on a piece of mammal and remove you by force and illegal, and we called shut off your cell phone illegal, and we called try to make you falsely get you arrested, which they were trying to do, get me upset so they could place me on the rest of me in jail. Is that corruption? Yes, it is. Is that freedom of speech? Yes, it is. They're corrupted. It's too bad. They don't like it. They're corrupted. Because our mayor and the city council would not have done that to me or anyone else. Mayor Ray Vaughn has done this to other people in the past. When a person was trying to speak about religion right in front of his face, Mayor Vaughn came out, raised his voice, and made a religious violation statement to him about he had heard enough of that in church. He doesn't need to hear it there. You violate that man's right to express speech. And he has never came back to City Hall. People will not go to City Hall because of the way they're being treated. All right, so let's go on. Thanks, corrupted Mayor Vaughn and entire Olney City Council. Now you will all pay at the hands of your own born, destroying this nutty city. All right. What does that mean? That's right. That's the topic he violated me to talk about was, since he was removed me illegally from the council meeting, every citizen knows you have the right to protest in a peaceful manner within public, on a public sidewalk. And once a law enforcement officer, government official arrests you or does anything illegal, or someone does something illegal to you, we call while you're out there, you can file a lawsuit the first time without alternate channels against the government officials, law enforcement, and other people. And back in 2003, Jack Hauser in October had published within disclosure what was going on here with law enforcement officers when I was standing out in public holding signs and protesting in a peaceful manner. Tim Dennehy, even though he doesn't mention officers' names, Tim Dennehy and all the law enforcement officers at the time were sitting there in their patrol cars laughing. They thought it was a joke. And they allowed people to hit and beat up on me. We called down here at the intersection, we called by Pizza Hut on East Main Street, throw rocks and stuff out across the street in front of cars and vehicles, run across, hit me, rip signs out of my, right in front of police officers. Officer Tim Dennehy even we called, threatened me, said that he was going to be called, keep on going down the road and let people kill me and throw me out in the hall out in the country. Bury me, and they were not going to do nothing. And the only reason that nothing was done about that, like Tom Weber said, attorneys, because it was a technicality we called. I was supposed to file quadruple, we called, with the police and fire commission. Instead of 4, I should have filed 7. So that's the only reason Tim Dennehy got off and didn't lose his job. And so what happens is, and they did that all over town. They let them beat up on, hit up on me. They participated in it. They tried to file false charges against me, which that went down the tube, denying me the right to stand peacefully in a public manner there. They didn't arrest other people and stuff. The cops laughed. That's Jack Hauser, disclosure published. They were committing all the different kinds of crimes against me that he's seen, we call it, which is an assault and battery and stuff they're allowed to do. And this is what they do around here. The police and state's attorney and elected officials participate in criminal activity.